Hey, welcome, Cigar Garage with Doc. And today we're going to have a little story, but first I'll tell you what we're smoking today. Look at that ash, perfect ash, an Excalibur 3 Toro. Okay, the origin is Honduras. It's got has a Connecticut wrapper. The fillers are Honduran, Nicaraguan, and Dominican. And it just has a nice mild to medium flavor. It's a wonderful little cigar. Perfect draw, perfect structure. I do like cigars a little bigger. I'm a Churchill guy myself and a Gordo guy myself, but these are delicious cigars. Wonderful cigar for a morning, or after lunch. A quick cigar after lunch too. It's a beautiful cigar. Very tasty, very nutty, leathery, and that's my northern accent. So as you can tell, I'm not from the South, even though I'm in South Carolina. I'm from Jersey City and Hackensack, but right outside of New York. But anyway, you can tell most of you people already know just by listening to me. But this is a cigar. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. As a lot of you know, that I'm a lay minister. I'm a minister. I was a minister of a church. Then I was a traveling minister with a prophetic ministry. I'm a lay exorcist. I have worked with the Catholic Church, both the traditional Catholic Church and the New Catholic Church. The New Catholic Church does things in English. The traditional still does things in Latin. The traditional is no longer under the Pope. They left. But they're still Catholic and do every single thing the same. I did all my sacraments and all that stuff. Before coming to minister, I was going to become a priest, but I had told the people that at that time I just couldn't do it. I went up. I even went to the college to start the process, but there was no way. I met my future wife, and as a lot of you know, that's an impossibility. Celibacy wasn't for me at the time. And unfortunately, couldn't be married. So that ended that. But I did continue on and go to schools. I got my doctorate in the religions of man, my master's degrees and all that is in education, special educations, behaviors, and my undergraduates are in criminal justice and public administrations. So, as you may know, I was an assistant at one point with Ed and Lorraine Warren. That happened later on in life. But when I was young, this stuff started with me. The spiritual stuff started a long time ago. When I was about 16 years old, I lived in North Jersey, and a girl across the street drowned in the bathtub. She was like a senior in high school, maybe a year or two older than me. I think I was a junior. She may have been a senior. Maybe she graduated that year. But it was a shame. She had epilepsy and evidently was in the bathtub taking a bath and drowned. Well, her little sister was a year younger than me. So she hung around with a lot of our crowd. She only lived across the street, knew her for years. So anyway, we decided one night, right after her death, it was either the very next day or the day after, the parents were out doing something, and we decided, there was about 10 of us, decided to go down in the basement and have a séance. Okay, not a Ouija board, but a séance. I read up on how they were done. Didn't know what I was dealing with back then. Didn't know how dangerous they'd be. We started holding hands. We start these chants. Just to make a long story short, I don't remember what chants they were. It was stuff they said to say in the book. All holding hands, all 10 of us. Now here we are in the room. To one side of the room is a small bar, and the bar is a lamp. There's a light on top and a couch on the other side of the room. And as we're doing this seance, all of a sudden, the room gets ice cold. You can see our breath. And we're wondering if a window was open and whatnot. This was in the winter. So what happened was, about a minute or two later, all of a sudden the lamp, and it was a pretty big lamp, about 1.5 foot, 2 feet lamp, and it went from the bar over our heads and landed against the wall by the couch. When it did, one of the people in our circle, it was a boy, one of my classmates, started screaming, and then he started crying and shaking. And out of him was coming a voice. He said, "What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter?" I'm going to say his name was Kenny. It wasn't his name. But we're like, "Kenny, what's the matter? What's the matter? What's happening? Stop. What's going on?" And all of a sudden he turns around. His eyes are like, I can't explain them. They were like lit up. They were totally different. It wasn't him. Oh, it wasn't him. And out of his voice, his mouth's not moving, but he's saying, "I can't leave. I can't leave. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving." Well, obviously it wasn't the girl we were trying to pick up in the seance. So he's in this place where he's not leaving. We're holding him down. It's not leaving. Now, there was a few girls, few guys with us. The guys were scared to death. Can't say I wasn't scared to death, but, being, me, I decided, well, I'm going to take the lead. And, there I was trying to calm him down and figure out what's going on. In the meantime, this thing starts cursing me out in a very harsh, gruff voice. So the girls start crying. Some of the boys are almost in tears. They're so afraid. They want to leave. So I said, "Well, go ahead and leave, but some of you stay with me. Don't leave me alone here." The girl that owns the house ran outside. A couple of the girls ran outside. But they came back in. And I was still dealing with this spirit. And I started to pray. That's what I knew to do. I was Catholic. I started to pray. And when I started to pray, he went even more crazy. So we were holding him down. His back started levitate, like trying to levitate off the floor. His back went up, but it kept going up. We had to hold his shoulders, his arms, and his legs to the ground. He was literally trying to levitate. I think if we let him go, he would have went up. That's what it felt like. But at the last minute, he fell down and started crying. And he came to, and it was him. Thank God. I tell you what, that night, I swore I'd never do anything like that again. Of course, later on, I studied it, learned about it, never did a seance again. Also, I have stories. I've dealt with exorcisms, blessings of homes, blessings of buildings, where the Ouija board was used. And I'll have some stories about that. I have used the Ouija board. I know how to use a Ouija board. But a Ouija board is demonic, and I do not use a Ouija board. No more. I had, in the beginning, I tried these things. But you learn fast enough that that's not the thing to do. But anyway, this is a true story. It started when I was 16. It was one of the things that opened my eyes to the spiritual realm. After that, we had some witnesses in my house. My brother and I shared a room. He was saying, "Who's that? Who's that?" I didn't hear a thing, but I look under the door and this bright light, like the room was on fire, was flickering bright under the door. And I'm hearing this boom, boom. And he's saying, "What's that? What's they saying? They're saying get out. They're saying get out." So things like that happened like within a week or two after we had some issues. So I prayed in the house. That's all I knew how to do. And it worked. And thank God it worked. Because I didn't know what else to do. I would have had to call a priest at that time. And anyway, that's what happens when you play around with Ouija boards or seances, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But you should never touch them because you get a familiar spirit. Those spirits that come in, you think it's your loved ones or your friend that passed on. It's not. It's not. It's a familiar spirit. That's exactly what it is, and that's what they do. They act just like the person. They know everything about the person. They can even sound like the person. So beware. Be careful. Stay away from seances and Ouija boards. And I'll be back to tell more stories. I hope you enjoyed this one. Enjoy your cigar. Look at that ash, huh? Excalibur 3. Give it a try. It's wonderful. Take care. God bless. This is Doc, signing off.